Oh, that was nice. वापस आ गया मैं आपका दोस्त एंड होस्ट जयंत कृपलानी। विवेकानंदा आंसर्स में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। लेकिन मेरी बात छोड़िए, आज हमारे बीच जितने दोस्त मौजूद हैं उन सब का एल्मा मेटर कॉमन है। इन सब ने कहीं ना कहीं रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल से ही अपनी एजुकेशनल लाइफ को शुरू किया था। आई गेस एट अ पिंच यू कुड call all of them proteges of Swami Vivekananda in the true sense of the term. Sirs, welcome to our show, all of you. There's Ashok, Vani, Agni, Kaustav and Pushan. आज हमारे साथ होंगे शिवप्रदानंद जी महाराज, सेक्रेटरी रामकृष्ण आश्रम पटना। Shall we welcome Swami ji? Please, sir. आइए। Good to see you. Please sit down. दोस्तों, शायद आपको पता हो कि रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल्स में महाराज जी के अलावा बहुत सारे नॉन मोनास्टिक मेंबर्स भी होते हैं जो कि इन महान कामों में हाथ बटाते हैं। आज हमारे साथ हैं स्वपन बंदोपाध्याय एंड शक्ति प्रसाद मिश्रा, रामकृष्ण मिशन पुरुलिया स्कूल के शिक्षक। वेलकम सर, प्लीज आइए। But this episode is a bit different. आज कोशिश यही होगी कि हम लोग ये जाने कि कैसे लाखों छात्र तैयार होते हैं इतने सारे रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल्स में। An institute of academic excellence carefully conceived by Swami Ji and nurtured by his able disciples. तो महाराज जी आप ही बताइए किस तरह से रामकृष्ण मिशन स्कूल दूसरे स्कूलों से अलग है?
Thank you very much for a very good question, I should say. And I think our schools, the schools run by Ramakrishna Mission Institution, are not different from any other school so far its curriculum is concerned, as it is framed by the Central Board or Board of Secondary Education. But we try to encourage our students to imbibe the spirit of truthfulness, maintenance of physical and mental purity, spirit of self-sacrifice. These are the things we encourage our students to imbibe in their lives. And I would ask Shapanda, what is your opinion about our method of teaching? What do you say?
Yeah, that's a very nice question, of course. Now, the method of teaching depends on particularly the spirit of teaching. That is, I want to say very specifically that a teacher should have sincere love and respect for the students. Until and unless these two qualities are there in a teacher fails to impress upon the students.
Well, जैसे महाराज जी अभी बता रहे थे, तो इसके बारे में what I particularly think is that our institutions are a little bit different from other schools, even as we follow the same HS or secondary curriculum. Okay. One thing, as I very strongly feel, that as a teacher, we have tremendous power to make a child's life miserable or joyful.
Oh, I know the miserable part of it very well, yes.
Okay. but especially in our institutions, I know that because they are residential, we have a sort of brotherly relationship. And definitely in every hostel, they feel that they have someone they can go to, they can trust, and they can express themselves when they are away from their parents. So there is a little bit of emotional bond. And another, what I think that our school is a little bit different. Even many condemn Narendrapur, Purulia, or Devghar, some other institutions, elite school. But I must say that there is absolutely no case when a boy was to discontinue his studies because of financial disabilities. So far there has been...
नहीं, आप बिल्कुल सही बात कह रहे हैं, लेकिन सवाल मेरा कुछ अलग था। मेरा सवाल ये था, और जो स्वामी जी ने आपको कहा जवाब देने के लिए, कि ये जो आपने कहा बिल्कुल सही कहा, और बड़ी खुशी होती है कि आप एक एल्डर ब्रदर और फादर फिगर है, लेकिन आप उन स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ डू यू एक्सपैंड देयर माइंड्स away from the, the Rama, that kind of rote study?
Actually, we try to make our students mentally alert and physically strong.
Ah.
So we arrange, apart from their curriculum, we arrange, say, drawing class, music class,
Huh.
and say social service camp, adult literacy camp. So these are arranged so that they can manifest their hidden qualities of life.
Yes. Well, two things really. One is what sir was saying over here about how miserable were you in school?
Again, I have to roll back myself to 1986. I passed out and entered that school in 1979, long back. But all those memories are still vivid in my mind today. जब मैंने आया था, घर छोड़ के आया था, घर छोड़ के दूसरा घर में आ गया, पता ही नहीं चला, एक दूसरे को पकड़ते हुए 8-9 साल बिता लिया, पास भी कर लिया, कैसे कैसे किया वो मालूम नहीं है. बट अभी जब सोचते हैं लगता है वो डिसिप्लिन 4 बजे उठ के अगर एक भी एक्टिविटी आपका मिस हो जाता है 10 मिनट के लिए 5 मिनट के लिए भी तो होल डे आपका लेट चला जाता है. शुरू में ये पनिशमेंट लगता था बट इवेंचुअली जब पास करने लगे तो लगा कि यही लाइफ है सर. अभी जब ये लाइफ में अभी का जो लाइफ है प्रोबेबली विल कैरिंग सम ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. आई स्पेंड सम टाइम इन यूरोप. तो उधर का डिसिप्लिन लाइफ उनका जो लॉ अबाइडिंग काइंड ऑफ थिंकिंग. आई एम इंजीनियर. आई एम वर्किंग एज अ वाइस प्रेसिडेंट फॉर सम कंपनी सैंडविक एशिया लिमिटेड.
अच्छा.
तो अभी जब देखते हैं वो डिसिप्लिन जो बचपन में जो डिसिप्लिन सिखाया गया था उसका 10% भी नहीं दिया मैंने. बट वहाँ का वन ऑफ द लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन में आई वाज taken into the society in that way.
हाँ. But अच्छा एक बात बताइए, ये this is the discipline part you're talking
Yes.
about, and of course the curriculum part we've accepted that it was
Yes.
Of a standard.
Yes.
What are the other benefits? I mean, did you all this extracurricular? How did you utilize those in your later life?
I remember we used to have a half day school on the day of Wednesday. It is very unusual for other schools. तो उसमें हम लोग को कुछ टाइम मिलता था. तो वो एक गैप रहता था एंड एवरी वीक में लास्ट क्लास जनरली इट वाज इन सैटरडे प्रोबेबली सैटरडे लास्ट क्लास यूज्ड टू बी सीपी क्लास कल्चरल प्रोग्राम. सो एक स्टेज में जाने का जो वो आइस को ब्रेक करके जाके बात करना ये सब चीज़ हम लोग जिस बैकग्राउंड से आए थे हमारे लिए क्वाइट अनयूजुअल था वहाँ पे जाने के लिए. बट ये लोग चांस दिए हम लोग गए करते वो इट बिकम्स वेरी इजी नाउ एंड यू नो.
Thank you, Ashok. Agni.
I just want to make one point. His school may, if you go to our school, if you ever visit our school, and I would request you to visit our school if you haven't done so, you'd see that overall standards in terms of the culture, the art, if you see the buildings, the sculpture, so you get exposed to something which has its roots in the Indian culture, but at the same time it's very global, very modern, and very uplifting for your mind. So you get immersed in a environment, in an environment where your overall mental faculties, I think, are lofted to a high level.
आप आजकल क्या करते हैं?
आजकल तो मैं IBM में काम करता हूँ.
हाँ.
It's a multinational
बहुत
company.
lofty है ये.
But I think, because we went there as fresh minds at a very young age. So, I felt that the way our minds get molded over the first few years of your forming age, that is very important to create the foundation for your future years.
Swamiji, he was talking about the architecture and it's almost like a molecular representation of the way Swami Vivekananda used to think, the atmosphere that you...
Yes. Swamiji actually tried to reflect these aspects of life also.
In around the institutions that have been created after him have been...
Yes. He was a great lover of art and culture. And while he actually went around India and afterwards when he delivered his lectures, he wrote different letters to his disciples or admirers. There he mentioned this aspect of life. So this reflects the Indian culture as such.
This is what you felt
Yes,
when
they felt.
you were there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you are exposed to a level of culture that is very high in terms of standard, I think automatically it has an influence in your mind, whether you take everything, you have the capacity to absorb everything or not. But I think just the sheer exposure
Osmosis.
Yeah, the kind of osmosis. Yeah, I mean the mental osmosis. So as much as you can, I mean, some people would probably absorb it more to a greater degree. Some people maybe to a lesser degree. But I think it really makes
Yes,
a
push on.
difference.
You were saying.
Yeah.
Yes, push on. You wanted to say.
Yeah, I basically wanted to summarize the two things. Like we went there when we were pretty young. I was 10 years of age when I went to Purulia.
कौन सा class था ये?
That was class 4. And so when you leave your home, there are two things that made us feel at home there. One is the environment that Ogni was just mentioning too. It's a fantastic environment, and probably that you realize later on in your life when you go back, revisit the place, that how fantastic that environment was. And to add to that, you have the personalities around, like people who were our wardens. We had a emotional bonding with them.
That's
and
what you were saying.
That exactly made our life so easy right from the word go. That we, in fact, I remember very clearly when I used to discourage my parents to visit me, because when they did actually visit me, I would be a little mentally upset that now they are going. So I said, I'm very well here. I'm absolutely fine. You don't visit me often.
तो ये तो अच्छी बात है सब. हमने जितनी बात सुनी आज अच्छी बातें सुनी है. लेकिन आपकी पिटाई हुई कभी स्कूल में?
Almost
हर रोज
daily.
पिटाई होती थी. बहुत स्कोल्डिंग्स भी होते थे. ये कह रहे थे स्कोल्डिंग तो कम
No,
ही होते थे.
Shaktida never scolded us.
No, I did.
But we have a particular day. Just suppose
तो पिटाई होती थी.
नहीं पिटाई नहीं, just some
छात्र नारायणों की पिटाई तो होती थी.
वो तो होता कोई शक नहीं है.
बोलो
नहीं,
बोलो
उस time
बोलो
पे नहीं था.
बोलो मेरे भाई बोलो.
You know, some of the pitais were politically incorrect.
सुनिए,
आज अगर किया जाए तो
घर में
मुश्किल
सुनिए जी, घर में तो माँ तो पिटाई करते है बच्चा को ना, उसी तरह की पिटाई.
स्वामी जी आपसे ये मेरा प्रश्न है कि जितने सारे स्टूडेंट्स मिशन स्कूल से निकलते हैं वो सब क्या अपने अंदर स्वामी जी के विचार धारण कर चुके हैं, और डू सम ऑफ देम टर्न आउट टू बी रॉटन एग्स और रॉटन एप्पल्स?
I should say, to a great extent, it depends on three things. One is willingness of the student, concerned student, whether he is willing to take up the spirit of Swamiji in his life or not. The second one, his capacity, mental and intellectual capacity to retain the ideal. And the third one is the follow-up action of the parents and the members of his family. So if these three things goes all right, then I don't think it will be very difficult for our students to continue his life in the spirit of Swamiji's ideal and ideology.
तो ये जो हाँ, so do you have really are there any instances of bad apples that have?
एक बात हम बताना चाहते हैं कि ये लोग these boys, I think sometime or other in their life they feel what is the essence of the learning that they got in Ramakrishna Mission schools. So at one point of time they have to realize.
They all say that.
Yes.
Even now they're saying that. Yes.
Actually, this is the point. So, just I want to add to Maharaj's saying that to a great extent, I would say to the fullest extent. Because at one point of time they realize, if even they cannot come back from their woes, still they retain somewhere in their mind that we were there in a paradise. So that is the feeling they probably bear within them. So why this came to them? Because of the fact that we all try to believe in the idea, each soul is potentially divine. What Swamiji said.
This is yes.
Yes, and having this idea in mind, we try to respect them, we try to offer our service to them, and we try our best to make them understand that nobody is to be hated or to be driven away. Everybody is our own.
दोस्तों ऐसा लगता है कि बातचीत बस अभी शुरू हुई है, लेकिन घड़ी महाशय बता रही हैं कि आज के लिए वक्त एकदम खत्म. But don't get disappointed, my friends. I will be back on the next episode again with these two eminent teachers, Swamiji and this marvelous bunch of students and examples of students from the mission school. धन्यवाद महाराज जी for your valuable time. आप सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ बने रहने के लिए, और नेक्स्ट एपिसोड में करेंगे और भी बातें होंगे और भी सवाल जवाब. तब तक as I always say, stay strong, stay inspired. Namaskar and thank you.